What's going on, YouTube? Let's talk about this or social media, wherever you find me at. Why saving your first $1,000 is often considered the most difficult financial milestone in your life.
Picture yourself staring at your bank account balance, watching that pathetic number mock you from your phone screen. Maybe it's $73.42. Maybe it's $216 if you're having a good month. Either way, that first $1,000 feels about as achievable as climbing Mount Everest in flip-flops.
And it's because it requires you to overcome the established spending habit, the psychology barrier.
Stop buying coffee for $5.50. You go to work, you spend $15 on a sandwich. What are you, an idiot? It costs you 99 cents to make a sandwich at home and bring it with you.
The external economic pressure for the first time. And here's a cool study. A recent study in 2025 data shows that 59% of Americans will not be able to cover $8,000 expense for saving. So it highlights the challenges of saving the first $1,000. In this video, I'm going to tell you the reason why it's so hard to save the $1,000. And yes, we can include the little things like, housing expense, food prices went up, but let's talk about the primary reasons and I'll go into a video. But I talk to a lot of people about finance and business, and one of the things I seen people complain about is, the first $100,000 is so hard to get to. This is going to take me forever. But they never started. They don't even have $1,000 saved, and that made me think, maybe it's not the first $100,000 that's so difficult, because that just requires compound interest and you being in the market long enough. Maybe it's to get started, to get out of the negative net worth. So I did the research and I found out what are the primary reasons. So the primary reason, number one, is deep psychological friction. Human brains are biologically wired to focus on immediate survival and not the long term. So short term rather than future saving. So saving $1,000 requires you to activate and resist against your natural impulse of spending on present needs on social pressure. So FOMO, right? So this is the reason why you are having a hard time. You are thinking now. And I am trying to help you to get the first $1,000 so it can turn to the next $10,000, then turn to $100,000 and eventually $1 million. But guess what? You have to allow compound interest to get started. So the first thing you have to do is change your psychological mindset. Now, don't worry, at the end of the video, I'll go over a few steps that will help you to get out of this mindset and save for your retirement, investment, whatever you want to do. So, what is number two? The economic headwind. The persistence of inflation in 2025 and 2026 to evaluate the cost of essential groceries, housing, utilities leave many with little or no surplus after basic survival costs. Yes, it's a very real thing. I see my grocery prices go up. You've seen your grocery prices go up. You've seen gas prices. Well, they kind of went down a little bit in some areas. But cost of living went up. So it's kind of harder to survive now and it's harder to save. So the economic headwind is very strong and hard. And there's very little you can do against that besides make more money or try to find savings somewhere. Number three, and this is causing people to have a hard time saving $1,000, is high interest debt cycle. Many individuals prioritize paying down high interest credit card debt, often with a rate between 13 to 27% over saving. This makes building the first $1,000 difficult and cycle. You go in there, you start using, you pay it down, you start using, you pay it down. At the end of the day, don't use your credit card if you can't pay it in full, because it's just gonna put you in debt. I don't like the idea of saying all credit cards are bad, but I also don't like the idea of you going in credit card debt. And you paying 13 or 27% on your interest, it's just putting you farther behind of saving that $1,000. The whole point is you need to change your mindset and get out of this cycle of borrowing money. Now, number 4 is lack of momentum. Unlike large investment portfolio growth through compound interest, your first $1,000 is all you. This is purely behavior changes and manual effort. There's no passive income in this to help you. What you can do, save $10. Um, uh, it works, but it's all you still. At the end of the day, your first wealth buildup is 99% you. Yes, after you make $100,000 in net worth and you have an investment, it will compound for you. But your first 100,000 is 90% you, unless you allow it to wait over time. Compound interest work like that. So the lack of momentum is not there. So it's all you, and you have to put the effort in to get there. And the last reason why is the paycheck to paycheck trap. When the economy gives you exactly what you need, you fall short of expenses. You fall short on everything. Your employer is not going to pay you way above everything. They can give you just enough to survive. So you can live paycheck, paycheck, because then you rely on them. And that's just how the world works. No one's going to go out of their effort to make you a millionaire. They want you to do it on your own. So, yes, the 9 to 5 is good to start your career, but they're not going to give you so much money that you have enough to splurge. So, at the end of the day, paycheck to paycheck is a trap, but it is a trap that you can use the extra money, that if you can get extra money, if you live below your means, to invest and go farther with your life. So those are the reasons why you can't save $1,000. It's the psychology or psychological friction, the economic headwinds, the high interest debt cycle, lack of momentum, and the paycheck to paycheck trap. Those are all valid reasons why you can't save $1,000. But let's go into how you can save $1,000 and actual steps you can actually do it. And the first thing you can do is automate your saving. Use a bank feature that automatically transfers small amounts. Maybe you can't afford much, but $20 to $50 separate account every paycheck will get you somewhere. It's not the most money you can do, but hey, over time you get to your $1,000, to your $100,000, to your $1 million if you slowly start this. Number 2, selling underused item. I tell everyone, if you want your first $1,000, first $10,000, you probably have a lot of stuff that's unused around the house, and you sell it on eBay. You declutter your house. You go walk around the neighborhood during trash day and see if anything you can find that picks up, and you can sell on eBay. Yes, it's someone else's trash, but someone else around the world might want it, and you might be able to make some money on it. Number 3 is high yield accounts. Store your progress in high yield accounts and look for rates above 4%. At least you can get some interest out of that, because the average interest rate on a bank is like 0.02 interest. So you're not really making any money, but with high yield interest, at least you can get a little bit of money. And lastly, number 4, a weekly breakdown. Focus on saving approximately $77 per week for 13 weeks to reach your goal in 90 days. That's all you can do. Now, yes, I understand it's not the easiest thing to do. Yes, I understand once you break the cycle, you're going to be able to become wealthy. So at the end of the day, hopefully this helps. Like and subscribe to the video. It really helps with the algorithm. And stay tuned for the next video.